Okay, this example, solve for theta. If theta is in the following interval from 0 to 360, don't forget the brackets and the parentheses. Brackets means what? It includes it, and parentheses, it doesn't include it. So anything from 0 to 360, including the 0 but not the 360 degrees, they want us to find cosine, not find theta, I'm sorry, given that cosine of theta is negative 1/2. Day one and day two. The difference between day one is you know where theta is. Day two, what we're doing today is we don't know where theta is and we're trying to look for this. So first thing I need to do here is provide a sketch. But in this case, since I don't know where theta is at, I'm going to just give the possible locations of theta. I'm going to say theta could land in quadrant 1. Theta could land in quadrant 2. And I'm going to label the reference angle instead of the actual theta. Theta could be in quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. And the other four possibilities actually could be that theta could actually land on the axis, and then we'll look at those problems right now and how to deal with those. Create the right triangles associated with this. With each of, I forgot to label the reference angles here. So those are the right triangles because remember, you always want to go from the terminal side to the horizontal axis. Cosine, according to SOHCAHTOA, is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So now I label the adjacent 1, hypotenuse 2. And the issue or the question becomes, what about that negative? Well, I'll deal with the negative right now. Adjacent, everywhere on this triangle I see an adjacent, I'm going to go ahead and label a 1. Anywhere where I see a hypotenuse, I'm going to label it a 2. That 1 will be shared for both of them. Okay. Now, based on my figure or my sketch, which one should be negative in which quadrants? Quadrants 2 and 3, because this adjacent, you can see that it's going to be negative. It's on the negative axis right here. They want cosine to be, yes. Yes. All right. All right, so this one, they want cosine to be negative. So what does this mean? Yeah, quadrant 1 and 4 will not be there. All right, so now that I've got my picture here, is there any constraint like on the other example where they told me like cosine had to be negative or no? All they told me was that cosine of theta is negative 1 over 2, but they're still trying to find what theta is. So this is where special right triangles come into play. Based on these labels that I have so far, what triangle, what special right triangle is it? 30, 60, 90. So now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. What is this reference angle, the 30 or the 60? Good, because the adjacent is 1. Remember that the one that, the opposite of 30 degrees, which is this one, should be a 1. The 60 should be a what? Square root of 3. And that you can see that it's the hypotenuse is 2. Adjacent is 1. So it's going to be, if I do Pythagorean theorem, 2 squared minus 1 squared, I get the square root of 3. So I get that these reference angles are 60 degrees. And I'm not done yet. These are just the reference angles. What I actually wanted was the theta or this angle associated with these. And remember that the angles have to start off from the positive x-axis. So if I start from here and I rotate to this terminal side, this is the actual theta that I'm interested in. That's too thick. So how do I find out what that angle is? Yeah, this is just simply, I don't want you to think that this is a formula. I want you to understand that if I want to start right here and I want to rotate this way, and I want to land in this terminal side, and I know that this is 60, then it's just 180 minus 60. So don't think of it as a formula. Simply from the sketch of this, I know that all the way to here is 180. Take away the 60. So one of the thetas is going to be 120 degrees. What about the other one? If I start here, I want to rotate and I want to continue until I get to this one over here. Okay. Well, when I stopped here, how many degrees was this? This horizontal 180. And how many degrees did I go down? 60. So what's 180 plus 60? 240. Use your calculator if you need. So 240 degrees here. Okay. And now we know that these other ones won't work, so because we eliminated. So this right here will have two angles right here. And what you can do here is a couple of things. Sometimes on the assignment, I think I asked them all for degrees. But the last three questions, I do ask you to convert them to radians. Okay, so just be careful with that on how to convert them to radians. Well, it's going to be both. Okay. But I would just make sure that you check it on your calculator to confirm that these work.